inhaled it all.
I can't. I tried.
I waited. I was like...
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, Straighten Up with your host, Jason Eddy.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Eddie, and we are so excited to be here again, into your homes and into your phones in the least creepiest way possible.
It's always a little creepy, especially for homophobic people.
Ooh, I'm gay.
Ooh, ah.
Listen, if you couldn't tell, because when you can't tell, you can't tell. Hi, gay.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell. They don't have that anymore.
I know.
It's been rebuked. Is that the word?
In the name of the Lord.
In the name of Jesus.
I rebuke the gays.
We're going to pray the gay away on Straighten Up today. Amen, amen, amen. You won't be into men, you know?
Repealed is the word you were looking for.
Repented.
It's been repented.
It's Pride Month, y'all.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, demons. Have you seen how they're putting together Pride and Month? They're putting Pride Month together in the middle. They're just...
Demon.
Yeah, they're just highlighting the word demon. So I'm taking Make 'em out. Happy Pride Month, demon.
Yeah, there you go.
Happy Pride Month, demons.
Yeah. Hit us up for merch.
We have it.
Stickers.
We have a shirt.
A single shirt.
2 car fresheners.
Just our picture.
And a couple of stickers.
They're gonna go fast, guys.
That's it.
It's Pride Month. People are supporting the gays this month.
Listen, it is Pride Month. It's Pride Month. We're happy. We're prideful, and we hope that you're happy. And what was this? We're happy and prideful. Yeah, it's our day. It's our month. It's our time. We have risen, and the gay agenda is rolling out.
Yeah.
Autobots, roll out.
You know what?
Listen, make me sound like Optimus Prime right there. Autobots, roll out.
You already did sound like Optimus Prime there. Yeah, that was really impressive. Why was that kind of good?
I actually voiced him. Oh, speaking of.
Oh. Okay.
Did you know who voiced the new Transformer? I just found this out today.
Oh, what was his name?
Mirage.
Mirage. I was gonna say Trip for some reason.
We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, soaring through.
We're gonna get another lawsuit.
Little.
Okay. Who voiced him?
Pete Davidson.
Oh.
Yeah. I saw it today.
Huh. I guess I can see it now.
Yeah. I was like, the voice sounds kind of sexy. What is it? With his what does he have? He has Crohn's disease.
Crohn's. Tomato. I'm not gonna correct you on that one.
Thank you.
Are you a Pete Davidson stan?
In terms of like, do I think he's like
find
attractive?
him attractive? Like people find him attractive.
I wouldn't say he's ugly, but I'm not saying he's like, damn, Pete Davidson. And look, the only reason why I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
I truly feel that the reason why Pete Davidson is with all these beautiful women is because he's funny.
You know what?
Women like a funny guy.
If I'm looking at him just without his personality, not in the slightest. No, thank you. I'm good. It's every guy in the trailer park. I'm doing just fine. But
is that why I like him?
I think so.
That was his pasty.
Because you also like Machine Gun Kelly, and he's not funny.
Oh my God, Machine Gun Kelly.
To me, though, no.
Listen, he can fire off a machine gun round any day. You know?
I don't know where you get all these puns about these people.
Listen, I'll be his shooting range. Fire all his bullets.
You can't do anything during Pride Month. There's limits, okay?
I can do it all. I have the power.
Anyways.
I have the power. It's just rainbows coming out of my fingertips. My eye. Get staph infection.
Pink eye.
Yeah. Part of the rainbow.
Yeah, no. But his personality,
Yeah, he's funny. People like a
him
funny
there.
person.
Yeah.
I saw an interview about him speaking of Pete Davidson, and like it's this wide known that Pete Davidson has a big Davidson. That's just a thing. Like it's this huge thing. And he was talking. He was like, honestly, it's just an average penis. He goes, I honestly feel like Ariana Grande just said that
Because she's small.
so that anybody else who gets with me is just disappointed at that point.
Oh my god.
Because they had separated after that,
Yeah.
And he was like, I think she just said that to where, it's this crazy thing, and then whenever I'm with someone, they're just gonna be disappointed now.
Oh.
As a last.
Have you seen the clip from her? What it was? I think her song POV, one of her songs off her newer album, and when she's singing, and she says Pete history.
No.
When she's singing the line, I hope I don't repeat history, but she says like, I hope I don't repeat history, and then she turns and you see her laugh a little bit in the music video.
Oh, she was shading him.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
Ari.
I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, nobody picked up on it until now.
Listen, she's a gay stan too.
Honestly.
Look at her brother.
Oh, Frankie Grande. I was like, who's her brother?
Her brother's like the leader of the gays
In
terms of how gay he can be.
Yeah.
Frankie Grande is
The gay.
Frankie Grande, like how gay is Frankie? This is the measurement. It's like
How limp are
how
his
gay are
wrists?
you? Is it like or
Your wrist breaks.
I always, speaking of like wrist things, in my I've not this is gonna be not controversial, but it's a hot take.
Okay.
I love Wendy Williams. I love her messiness. I love her pettiness. I love it. And one of my favorite things about her show is, how you doing?
How you doing?
And I've always wanted to just go on her show and be like, how you doing, Wendy? That's my thing.
You know who did that? And it was a little bit cringy. Do you remember Joey Graceffa?
Yeah.
His boyfriend, Daniel?
I didn't care for Daniel.
Yeah, he was
kinda
kind of
looked like
whatever.
a fish.
But there's a clip of him in the audience at the Wendy Williams show.
Going.
Yeah, well, and then they introduced him because I guess he was going to like ask Wendy a question or something. And he did that. He was like, oh, hi, Wendy, how you doing? And I was just kind of
At that point, is it like cultural appropriation?
a little bit.
Like, look at yourself. Don't do that.
She kind of was just like, oh, you're cute, Daniel.
She's a gay stan, though, too. She likes the gays.
Okay, but is that all it takes? You know what I mean?
To like a gay, yeah. If you like
And
a
then all of
gay,
a sudden
you're a
you're a
gay
stan?
stan, yeah.
Does that make you an ally?
No.
Okay, what signifies as an ally?
You stand with me. You stand for my rights. You stand for my, I guess what better word for rights is rights. You stand for my rights. You stand for my equality. You stand for me being looked at as a person amongst everything. You can like me.
Yeah.
You can, oh yeah, you're gay. That's cool. But I don't want you to, I don't think anything else needs to come from that. You're gay, whatever. But like if that, then you're not an ally. You just like me.
See, so then like I get that the gays like Wendy Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like, does that make her like a gay icon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
if all she did was like a gay person.
No, but she is an ally. Is she not an ally of the gays?
I don't know what she's done.
I think she's an ally. The first I seen my white Valentino. I guess I only said that because I seen her at like a gay pride once.
Yeah. So I mean, like somebody like Lady Gaga, like clearly has
She's
like
a stan, and I'm a stan for her.
Is an ally, and I think she might be a part of the community now that I think of it.
Can you be straight and be a part of the
No.
community, or is it just only homosexuals?
I think it's any of the ligabatas. You know what I mean?
So homosexuals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and trans people and like
If you're-
gender. I think gender
Any
is kind
gay
of in.
person.
Yeah. Anybody that's kind of under that umbrella.
What's the
is a
difference
part
between
of the
gay and queer? In my mind, growing up, for me, gay was gay and lesbian was lesbian, and that was it, So that's the thing. Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's cut everything else, erase the clip, we're starting over.
Okay.
So,
Welcome back to That's Debatable.
too far.
Oh, never mind. No. Welcome back to our ghost episode, part 2. Go ahead.
So growing up for me, and I mean, obviously there's older generations of gays before us. We're not, we are of a younger generation,
yeah.
right? We're a younger generation. But for me, growing up, gay was just if you liked the same sex, you were gay.
Okay.
You're gay if you're gay. If you're a woman who likes a woman, you're gay. If you're a man who likes a man, you're gay. You're gay. And then it was, oh well, if you're a lesbian, then that's a gay woman. You see what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
if you're a man who likes man, you're a gay man. You're a gay woman if you're a woman who likes woman.
Yeah.
So, what is the difference for me? I guess it's harder to think or to kind of. I really do try hard
Yes.
to see things from everybody's point of view and see it from that way, because there's so many new things these days that it's hard to see it other than how I've always seen it. And so to you, I guess my question, long story long, what's the difference between gay and queer?
In the way that you're explaining it, I don't think there is a difference, because I think you're seeing gay as like an umbrella term. You're just different sections of that word. And I think as of right now, queer has just taken over what that word is. So now it's still an umbrella term that you can identify as queer, which just means you're not heterosexual.
Right, but ask anybody else, younger generation from us now, gay is a man. You're a man who likes a man, you're gay.
Mm-hmm.
You're a person who likes men and women, you're bisexual.
Yeah.
If you're a woman who likes women, you're lesbian. If you are not sexually attracted to anybody, you're asexual. There's a label for everything.
Yes.
And so, and to anybody else today, if I were to say that, I would be wrong and not politically correct in the LGBTQI plus 1, 2, 3 community.
Yeah.
And that too. And I, coming from somebody who is gay, who has felt themselves a part of the community of LGBTQIA plus,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's wild. And I probably will get hate for this from people, and they probably won't see it the way I see it, and I probably get judged for it, and this, that, and the other.
Okay.
Why LGBTQ? And then if you want to, then furthermore, the plus, right?
Yeah.
Everything has to have a letter now. It was such a thing, and that's why now it's LGBTQIA plus, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I feel so ignorant, I guess, for saying it,
Yeah.
because I don't know, and I should study more probably, but I just don't see the purpose of having everybody in one when it's already saying there's more than just the 4 that are at the beginning.
Yeah. I think at times ignorance is bliss. It's easier to not put in the effort to understand it than just to say, oh, it's too confusing. You know what I mean? Oh, it's fine. It's this, and if you want to be something else, cool, you can be something else. But I've stood by the fact that if those labels matter to someone, then you have every right to call yourself whatever it is that you want. And I think we're reaching a place that everyone needs a way to identify, because it makes them, in the same way that like after like coming out, it kind of makes you feel then a part of something. Oh, now I'm a part of this community, and I could find people that are like me because we have this label and we're able to identify together. And in the same way, we have like shared experiences.
But at the beginning, though, I don't know if you knew, or if you look at it, LGBTQ, right? That's what it was. LGBTQ, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer. Queer was the umbrella term for everybody else that didn't just identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's all these other things, the QIA plus, and a lot of them, and again, maybe I'm just blissfully ignorant. I don't know a lot of the terms, and I try to be on top of it, and if you tell me, then I'm like, I'll try to look into what it is. But we were at your sister's house yesterday, and your niece was playing a game, and it was a game of like different pride flags, right? And you have to, you can make these flags and find the different flags and what it is and what it's not. And one of the flags was an anon binary flag. Not a non-binary flag, not a binary flag, it's anon binary, where an anon binary person didn't classify themselves as binary, but they also didn't classify themselves as non-binary. So they were still sexually active towards people, but not necessarily a woman, but not necessarily a man, but they themselves are not necessarily a woman or a man.
Yeah.
They're anon binary.
See, I think...
And that's the part that messes with me, because it's like, that could very well be somebody feels that way, but it's like, it's so hard for me to see that
Yeah.
and just automatically like, okay, cool, that's it.
I think, and this is probably going to sound bad, I think that eventually, as future generations come up, and obviously this is become a very large part of like younger culture for people to understand how they identify, and everyone has like 3 or 4 different labels, and like, sure, to an extent it is a good thing, but I think eventually the younger generation is going to kind of collapse in on itself, that then if there's so many ways to identify, that eventually words like queer are going to be just an identifier for everything. And I feel like eventually people are just going to be people. Yeah. So I feel like we're going to go through this until it just becomes a non-issue. But I feel like everyone wants to be a part of something, and everyone wants to have this doesn't sound really bad, but like, it's almost like sometimes people want like a struggle. People want a fight to fight. People want like a thing. So it's like, okay, well, I identify this way because this slight thing doesn't quite fit what I want. So I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to go that way. And now there's words for all of those things. And like, feel free, identify the way that you want.
Yeah, but where do those words come from? That I think that's my thing. Yeah. Where do those words come from? Because none of these words existed when I was a young gay boy.
Yeah.
And they definitely didn't exist when the generation before ours were young gay people.
Yeah.
Growing up into this, whatever it was at the time. You know? And so that's why it's hard for me. Like, the he, him, she, her, cool, I'm on board. You don't think that internally you are a boy and you want to say that you're a woman? 100%. I'm with you. I accept that. I will call you she, her. You're a woman, you think the otherwise, I will call you he, him. But it's when, and for the longest time, the they, them pronouns messed me up.
Yeah, it was
and I
challenge.
Felt it was such a challenge for me. And honestly, it was a battle for me, because I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, if I'm a part of this community, this LGBTQIA plus community, and we're supposed to be open and accepting and loving, and just all of our brothers and sisters, that's who you are, and yes. Why is it so hard for me to accept the they, them? Mm-hmm. How could I refer to somebody as they? And it's just a singular person. It was so hard for me. And then I finally started being more on board with it and kind of making it more regular in my mind, learning to adapt to it.
Yeah.
And see it as for what it is. And then the Z-Zairs come in. What the hell's a Z-Zair?
Yeah.
Please tell me. I'm sorry if anybody out there identifies as Z-Zair. Really, I'm not trying to be judgmental or hateful or anything like that, but I don't understand it.
Also, this whole sitting up thing is starting to become a challenge. Yeah, I'm like, I'm really like,
okay. It's getting a lot. Like, I feel myself like,
I'm like, you know what we can do? We can make some joke about like, oh, like how since it's straightened up, we're trying to sit up straighter, and be like, well, we can't do this anymore, and then just, but in a second.
Or just,
I think it'd be funny, because then I feel like it's gonna be weird. We're sitting here, and then all of a sudden we're. You know what I mean? Like, make a little joke and then whatever.
Yeah, I'm old. I can't do it anymore. I have sciatica issues.
I can't straighten up.
I had a meatball accident, and then I got into a car accident, and my sciatica is just fucked. That's the joke. I'm 32 with the back of an 81-year-old.
Do you want to just sit back now?
No, it's fine. You want to make it a joke?
It's fine. That was the joke. We're gonna sit back now.
Everybody point and laugh.
Go ahead and sit back. I need to refocus it though. So, to wrap up like this part of the conversation, I think at one point our identities used to be considered more radical, more like, oh, like coming out was a big thing. It was like, oh my God, like, okay, cool. Like, obviously it's become more accepted as time has gone on, but prior to it wasn't. And so I feel like all of these new identities are kind of going through that right now. People didn't understand it. People didn't understand gay at one point. I don't understand how you could like another man. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
It was a disease at one point in life.
Yeah.
If you were gay, you were sick.
Yeah.
You had a literal disease. So yeah.
We're not at the point that, like, people thankfully, like, think that. But I think there still is a large misinformation about it. And you won't really know unless you are that. You know what I mean? Like, we can try and understand it, just like people can try and understand gay people. But I'm sure there's still a lot of people out there that are just like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't know how you can be attracted to another man.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. So I think eventually, as time goes on, we'll start to understand these things as they become more prominent. And hopefully we will maintain the idea that we will try to stay as educated as we can and as understandable as we can.
That is the hope in life.
Yeah. Because
especially as people who are part of the LGBT community.
Yeah.
You know,
we're becoming the elders.
Right. And I never want anybody to feel like I'm judging them or looking down on them or saying that whatever that they identify as is less than.
Yeah.
But man, it is hard. It's so hard. And I struggle with that because it shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
But it is.
It's hard.
That's what I mean. The shoe is on the other foot now.
Right. Because for us, it was gay, lesbian, and bisexual.
Yeah. And it was so easy for us to understand because we were it. You know what I mean? Oh, it just makes sense. Oh, when did you know you were gay? I've always been this way. I don't know. But so to those people, those identifiers immediately click in their head and like, oh, that's me.
True.
And oh, how did you know you were this? I just always have been.
I just always knew.
Yeah. It's just more labels equals more complexity, but that doesn't mean that we can't educate ourselves to understand it. Yeah. It's just going to take time and people educating us.
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please. We're
going to have to take like a class or something soon.
Please. You know, it's a difficult thing. And I mean, the people who are out there who identify as, you know, anything outside of the norm, I give them kudos for openly, outwardly putting themselves out there like that, even though I know it's probably scary as hell.
Yeah.
You know, but you have one life.
You
gotta live it as yourself, man.
Yeah.
You gotta live it as yourself, because if you're not, you're gonna be just depressed your whole life. And you're gonna end up, you know, like Caitlyn Jenner, who waited her whole life until she was in her 70s to finally accept and say, you know what, this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be from my life here on. And knowing that she was closeted and just reclused her whole life, you know, I don't think Caitlyn Jenner is the best person.
She's a bitch
politically, you know, but as a person of the community, I can only imagine what she must have been feeling her whole life, having to be somebody that she wasn't for decades.
I can respect somebody's plight.
Yeah.
Whether or not I like you as a person.
Right.
I can understand that what you went through is difficult. And I would hope that after you have gone through all of that, you would do your best to help those who aren't as fortunate with money, fame, power to make their lives as easy as possible. Yeah. But instead she went the opposite direction. She chose to make things more difficult for her trans brothers and sisters, and I cannot respect somebody like that, even though I respect her journey. Yeah.
And I think that's what I was going to...
So to bring out our first guest, Caitlyn Jenner. Hi, girls. She has a very specific way she speaks. She did I Am Kate, and then she just got a bunch of trans women and put them on a bus, and then all she did was basically be like, oh, like, we're going to go, and we're going to talk about how to make our voice more feminine. And it's like, these are trans women with actual issues that, like, want to, like, help the community, and all you're worried about is how your voice is going to be more feminine, or how you look in a dress, and, like, somehow that equals you being a woman. You know? I have very strong opinions about Caitlyn Jenner. So we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
What's she gonna do? Come after us? Probably.
No, she's not part of the Kardashians anymore. She has no power.
Honestly, Caitlyn who? Anyway,
you know who will come after us for that? Kylie. She has power.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kylie.
She has power. I'd be friends with Kylie.
I know you would be.
I would. I don't like Kendall.
I don't have much of an opinion on Kendall.
I don't know. I feel like she's just kind of... Maybe I'm the same way, and that's why I feel that way.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're talking about allies and gays.
Yeah. Okay, so who were you?
If you didn't know, Jason's gay.
Hi.
Oh, whole limp.
I know. Let me see your wrist again. Resist.
Just conceal, don't feel. That's my motto in life. Elsa had it right. Conceal, don't feel.
Oh my god. Speaking of Elsa, who was your gay icons growing up? Who were the ones that you see and you're like that?
Like celebrity wise?
Yeah. Like who are the ones like some people?
Oh my god, wait, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I tell you a story real fast?
Sure.
And it
It's a
has to do with the
podcast,
gay
so go ahead.
icon. And it was so funny to me.
Okay.
And I meant to tell you this before and I totally forgot.
Okay.
So I went to get my haircut, obviously, last week for my graduation.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And I'm talking, my barber's name is Nick. I'm talking with Nick. How you been, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm good, Nick. You know, just living life. I'm graduating soon. That's why I'm getting my haircut. You know, he's, oh yeah, that's awesome. And he was like, I'll make sure you look real good, man. We're gonna get you, like, we're gonna get it real tight. You know, all this other stuff, and it's gonna look real nice. You get all the ladies. And I was like, thanks, man. Like, I appreciate it. He was like, yeah, you can get all ladies. You know, like, he said, yeah, no. And so then we start talking about, because I don't like my beard super trimmed down, because I have grays in my beard now, and I've come to grow fond of my grays.
Okay.
And I was telling him, I was like, oh yeah, just make sure, like, you know, don't cut my grays. I like them. He was like, oh yeah, don't worry, I got you, man. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna let my grays come in. You know, I'm starting to like them too. Like, I'm gonna feel a real ladies, man. Like, I'm gonna get all these ladies, you know, like Anderson Cooper.
Oh my god.
And I was like, yep, just like Anderson Cooper. And he was like, yeah, you know what I mean, man. Like, he's a real handsome man. Like, he's the ladies, man. Gets all the ladies. You know, like Anderson Cooper and like
what, another one?
The other one was an actual straight man.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like Andy Cohen.
No, it was Anderson Cooper and Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, okay. No,
They're not in the slightest
scope,
the same spectrum. But I thought it was so funny that was his reference to a ladies' man, Anderson Cooper. Because you know what I mean. I was like, yep. I know exactly what you mean.
Let's do celebrity icons, and then I want to come back to that story because I have a question for you.
Okay.
So who are your people growing up?
You go first. I feel like I'm not understanding the question.
Okay. So like, I remember when I seen there was a march on Washington for equality, and I remember Lady Gaga was there.
Okay.
And she spoke with like such passion, and she like screamed at like President Obama into the microphone because she knew he was watching.
Okay.
And she basically was just like, oh, like, I'm standing with the people, like, I like, this grass today is ours, and like, we're gonna occupy it as long as we have to, and like this and that. And it's one of those moments that I'm like, you know what, that person is somebody I like look up to, that it's like you're fighting, and like that's where I want to be too. And if I'm thinking like funner ones, it'd probably be like a Leslie Jordan, like seeing him, like, especially
Leslie.
He was he on Will and Grace, right?
Was he on Will and Grace?
Right,
yes.
Right. I wasn't a huge Will and Grace person.
He also played Leslie in Will and Grace.
That's funny. But I liked all his little cameos when he would pop up in different shows, and all of a sudden it'd be Leslie Jordan.
Yeah.
And he was always Leslie Jordan.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was one that I was like, oh my god, he's so funny. Like, I want to be like that one day. So who are your, like, did you have any people that you were like?
I did, and I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this.
Wendy Williams.
because of recent allegations in the last few years, but Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay.
Listen, I get that there's so many things about her right now, and that she wasn't the best person, and every this, that, and the other, but Ellen was it for me. She was just the gay beacon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was all about the people, all about helping people, all about charity, all about gay rights, lesbian rights, trans rights, just rights of she was just an all-around amazing person. And for me, Ellen was it. Ellen was the person. Like, man, I want to be like Ellen. You know, I want to make somebody happy. I want to make somebody's day. I'm going to be kind today to another person because they deserve it. You know, that I loved her message. Be kind. Just be kind.
Yeah.
You know, and that was it.
Were you like a YouTube person?
Yes, I loved YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember that era when like it seemed like everyone was coming out? It was like Joey Graceffa,
everybody had a coming out video.
Connor Franta.
I don't know how that is.
Oh well,
but it was again. It was people coming out. You just knew they were already gay.
Yeah, you kind of
because they were not passing.
Don't lecture me again. But I remember like It was like those videos, and like I know it's a very Jason thing to do.
You cried.
Well, yes, I cried multiple. There was this one, and I remember I was like 11 minutes long. I remember that for some reason, and it was just him sitting in his room. It was this very random guy. I think he has like a little bit of a following on like Instagram now, but like I remember he was talking, and his story was so similar to mine that I cried, and then I came out like 2 weeks later. It was weird to me that I was like, oh, you know what, I can do it, and I did it.
I had a friend before I came out, and he was gay, and he knew I was gay, and he had talked about how he came into his parents and how they were accepting of him, and just his experience is such a positive one that it kind of had the same take on me that video had on you, and it inspired me to want to come out, and because of him is the reason why I came out to my mom.
See?
You know, yeah. It went well at the beginning, and then it didn't go so well at the end, but it is fine.
Yeah.
In and of itself, and as a whole, had a very positive coming out experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions for you. So
Okay.
going back to your barber,
Right.
obviously he's like, oh, you're gonna get all the ladies.
Yeah.
One, how are you with coming out in your regular life as you live it?
If I'm asked, 100%. I don't hide it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not just, hey, what's up, I'm Eddie, I'm gay.
Yeah.
You know? And so the comments like that don't bother me.
So
Comments like the ones he made, I'm not like, oh, I'm actually gay. You know?
yeah.
For what is it? For what? It's not hurting anybody. We're just having conversations, regular conversation. He thinks I'm straight, then he thinks I'm straight. If he were to ever ask, oh, are you straight? I would say no. It's not an issue. But I don't correct anybody because it doesn't matter.
See, I think we're very different in that way.
Oh yeah, you
That,
definitely
like,
will correct someone.
If somebody says, but it's not even necessarily like no, actually, let me correct you here. It's just like, oh, well, actually, it's this. And I mean, obviously, people don't already know.
Right, but so
I think I get it.
so
a lot
it bothers
less.
you when you're missexualized. Is it missexualized? It bothers you when someone says basically that you're straight when you're not.
It doesn't necessarily bother me, but I feel like
But it does. If you have to go out of your way to say, actually,
I feel like it's more just like I've always stood by the fact, and I said this in the last or the few episodes ago, that I think representation matters. So if it becomes like a thing that it's like, oh, even like a comment, so, oh, you're gonna get all the ladies, or, oh, do you have a girlfriend? It's like, oh, well, no, actually, it's this. And I feel like it's not, it's something that I think needs to be said, just so that way it is not anything later on. You know?
for me, it doesn't bother me. I don't think it's important enough. It doesn't bother me enough to be like, actually, no. I've worked places where they thought I was full-fledged married to a woman. And that's what you think. That's what you think. Ask me about it and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But it's not something where I'm like, actually, I'm gay.
Yeah.
For what? It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt them. I'm not bothered by it, so why let it? If it doesn't bother me, why would I correct you?
Do you still get like any sort of anxiety around coming out to people now?
No. That's what I'm saying. If I were to be asked about it, 100% I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't hide who I am. I don't try to act straight. I don't try to be something that I'm not. I just am. And if your perception of that is something that's not, then that's your perception of me. But if you're like, actually, are you straight? No, I'm not. But, then they know. It is what it is. I had somebody at work, one of my coworkers at work, she I'm assuming thinks I'm straight. People know I have a son. He's not biologically mine, of course.
Yeah.
So when I talk about that, that's kind of what automatically, oh, he's straight. Oh, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a wife? Are you married? No. Oh, okay. And I remember this one parent came in, and obviously, based off of her comment, she knew I was gay.
Yeah.
She had came in, and she had came in twice, one each day, because there was awards happening at school, and 2 of her kids, one on each day, were getting awarded. She came in one day with the short wig. She came in the other with the long wig. We know she wears wigs. She says it.
Yeah.
And then the next day, the second day she comes in, she has the longer wig, and I was like, okay, girl, I see you with your wig. right? And she's laughing. She was like, "Oh, Edward, do you wear wigs?" And I said, "No." She goes, "Do you like to put hair on? Not wear wigs." Oh no, I don't. I don't really. I mean, I know how to, but I don't. I don't. It's not my thing. She was like, "Oh, okay. Do you wear makeup?" I said, "No, not really. It's not my thing. Just natural face." She was like, "Oh, okay. Well, you don't need it anyways, right?" Until she leaves. And then my coworker, she goes, "Did she ask you if you wear makeup?" I was like, "Yeah." She was asking if I wear makeup, and she goes, "Well, do you?" And I said, "No, not anymore." That's it. She was like, "Oh, okay." That was it. You know, but it was never like asked to me if are you gay or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I understand your stance to an extent, but I think if it's like do you have a girlfriend? You want to be like, oh, your answer is just no.
Yeah, just no.
That's interesting to me.
Because it doesn't bother me. Let them think what they want to think. It's not their business for me to. I mean, I wouldn't expect them. Oh, you married? No, I'm single. No, I haven't had somebody for 17 years. It's not my business. They want to relate, sure.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then what is it?
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a problem with it, but I don't want to. No, I don't have a girlfriend. And there'd be times where, do you have a boyfriend? No, I don't have a boyfriend. You know? It is what it is.
That's interesting.
But it doesn't bother me enough to go out of my way to be like, actually, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my life, not theirs.
So then, on the topic of coming out, you said that it was fine, and then it wasn't, and then it ended fine. How was your overall coming out experience?
Oh, it was great. Well, I came out to my grandma first.
Okay.
And that wasn't as good when it first happened. More so because it kind of came out in an argument. And she was asking, just all these questions. I was like, because I'm gay. That's why. It's because I'm gay. Are you happy? And I remember she said that she was going to pray the gay away. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? You were the most ignorant person I've ever met in my life. And I walked out. And I was with my friend at the time, and one of my best friends. We're sitting in the car. We're going to leave. She goes, Eddie, you got to go back in and apologize. You can't leave your grandma. She goes, I get what she said was wrong, but that's your grandma.
Yeah.
You got to go back in. You got to apologize because you don't know what's going to happen. I was so mad. I saw red in my eyes, but I was like, you know what? You're right. And I went in, I apologized, and she apologized, and that was fine. She added me to my dad. And that was okay. My dad was like, I love you anyways. You're my son. It is what it is. And then I came out to my mom myself. I was 18. We're in the car, and I was like, Mom, I have something to tell you. And I said, I'm gay. And she
did the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole spiel. And she, I love you, son, and I'll always love you, and you're just never going to change. Just don't wear booty shorts, and we'll be fine, Don't come the next day with Daisy Dukes on and be the thing. And it was good. Everything was fine. And then I got with my boyfriend at the time, who turned out to be my fiance later on in life. And when I was finally in a real relationship with the man, with the boy, completely changed.
Ooh.
You won't talk. You're not going to talk about him in this house. You can do what you want when you don't live with me, but when you're living with me, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want him over here. I don't want you talking to him while I'm at the house. It was a whole thing. And my mom and I didn't talk for a long time. We lived together and we didn't talk to each other.
Oh, wow.
We just didn't talk to each other. I'd leave, she'd come, and we just crossed paths. And I had nothing to say to her. She had nothing to say to me.
How long did that last?
Oh, a long time. God, weeks, if not a month. A long time.
Yeah.
It lasted a long time that my mom and I didn't talk because of it. And then I remember one time, Alejandro's name was, we were at my grandma's house, and we were laying on her bed, we were talking, and she was like, oh, your mom's coming. We didn't know if she was coming that day. She was supposed to not, that's why we were over there. And so we went and sat in the living room, and she came in, and I remember she stopped in the living room, she looked at me, and she looked at Alejandro, and then she looked at him, she was hi, gave him a hug, said hi to me, gave me a hug, and fuck, they liked him better than they liked me for almost 5 years. Yeah, so that's why I say it was great at the beginning, not so great in the middle, but then it had a good ending.
That's good.
Yeah.
That, honestly, considering how your mom is now,
right,
that surprises me.
Exactly, and let me tell you, the jokes that they make towards me,
yeah,
and the things that they say towards me, you would never think that was even an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
it
crazy.
was a trying time for little gay Eddie, but here we are, big gay Eddie.
Yeah. What age were you?
I was 18. I was 18 when I came out.
Oh, okay.
How was your coming out?
Um,
Let you talk
it was
as
good.
I continue
Interrupt.
to interrupt.
It was good. Considering how it could have gone, it was good. I came out to, at the time, my best friend. I remember I made her guess because I could not say it.
Okay.
She knew, like, I knew she knew. And so I was like, I need you to say it. She's going down the list of questions. Are you this? Are you this? Are you this? And
What do you mean you made her guess? Like, what did you say? Oh, I'm something, but can you guess what I am? Or?
Like, I was like, oh, I have something to tell you, but I'm nervous. So, yeah,
Oh.
it has to do with this. I think I can. She said she was watching RuPaul's Drag Race. So I was like, it's kind of in that realm. Like, and I'm
So
just
basically everything
yes,
but the word
yes,
gay.
Exactly. I just couldn't say it.
I like boys. I watch boys on TV. I really like a boy who dresses like a girl. Guess what I am?
Exactly.
Got it.
I don't even think at that point I had even said the word. Like in reference to myself. So I came out to her. Then that was fine. I came out to my sister Alicia. That was fine. What's funny is that
You came out to Alicia first?
yes,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
So that's the whole thing. Hold on, Amanda's
Interesting.
watching right now. Amanda, sit tight.
Yeah, because Amanda's
Yeah.
that's your bestie for resty.
So what's funny is I was texting Alicia. I was like, okay, now I'm gonna text her. So I'm texting. I'm like, hey, blah blah blah. I need to talk to you. Whatever. She tried to call me. I didn't answer. I'm texting her. And then Eileen had grabbed my phone and was like, that was my friend that I came out to, and she was texting her. Oh, hey, it's Eileen. Blah blah whatever. And then so she's talking to her, whatever, just distracting her.
Yeah.
And then eventually I did come out and I said I'm gay. She thought it was still Eileen texting her. So she was like, so she called and she was like, oh my God, like that's great. And then it was like, no, it was me. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Then I came
Your
out.
friend trusted me enough to come out to me,
Yeah.
Jason.
I need to say something.
That's so nice. Let me talk to her. Your friend just told me she's gay.
I realized I never explicitly
Thank
said.
God it wasn't you, brother. What if
I would run off into the sunset. Oh my God. I realized I never explicitly said Jason is back at the wheel. So she just assumed it was Eileen the whole time. So then I came out to Amanda next, and that was right before a Halloween party. The reason she invited me to a Halloween party, and then that day, for some reason, I decided I was going to tell her. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to her house. Me and Eileen drove over there, sat down on the couch. It was a whole thing. But the reason why I didn't come out to her first was because I felt like I was like building my way up in like telling people. So it was Eileen, then it was Alicia, then it was Amanda. And then I was like, okay, cool. I told her in her living room. She was kind of just like, kind of already knew, but like, thanks for telling me, appreciate it. Then she told her husband Zaran, and Zaran was shocked. And I don't know how, because I was still the same Jason I am now. He was like, no. And I'm like, maybe he was just playing it up, but like he fully was like,
I love that
Jason,
man.
Jason.
I love that man.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, gives amazing hugs.
Zaran's a great guy.
He is.
Yeah, Zaran's an even greater guy if he's watching this episode.
If you are watching this episode, Zeron, text us.
I'm watching this episode.
Text us hippopotamus.
Yeah, happy priDEMONth.
No, just say the word hippopotamus. Why did you steal my thunder every time?
We talk about hippopotamuses all the time. That's not going to work.
Yeah, I love hippopotamus.
Hip.
Hip hop, but don't stop.
Anyways, and then I told my mom. I cried. It was the whole thing. That was fine. It wasn't necessarily like a you're gay now, but like it wasn't like a get out of my house. Like
Yeah.
So I kind of got the middle ground. And then I gave her permission to tell my dad. I was like, go ahead. And I remember the next morning I woke up and I went into my dad's room. I was like, hey, like, so did mom talk to you? And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, so you're gay? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, he was like, why didn't you want to tell me? I was like, honestly, you were Jehovah's Witness for a very long time. I don't know how they look at it.
I forgot you guys were Jehovah's Witness.
Only my dad was.
Oh,
not
really?
Us. Yeah, not us.
Oh,
Only my
wow.
dad. He was high up. He was a church elder, the whole thing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Then he kind of had a little bit of a fall from grace.
Elder Rudy, huh?
Yeah. And
Wow.
then, yeah, a lot of his family kind of cut him off.
That's wild.
Him and his sister. And then, so that's honestly why I wasn't sure how he was going to take it. I'm like, is this going to be a big deal?
Right.
Which is,
Because a lot of people who leave the Jehovah's Witness church still have a lot of the beliefs of the Jehovah's Witness. That's true.
because honestly, then years later, this was probably only a couple of years ago, he had come to me and he's like, hey, so you have a cousin on this side of the family, and I don't really know much about his side of the family, that just came out and he got kicked out. Like, can you do me a favor? Can you reach out to him and just kind of offer support and this and that? Granted, I'm thinking this is like a 18-year-old, like he needs like guidance, and I'm gonna be over here saving the day. This is like a 35-year-old man that's far gayer than I am, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm good."
Do you think you can be that for somebody? Like that guidance for a gay youth who is struggling?
I think I could, because I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
As far as like how my sexuality has impeded my life, that I think I've overcome a lot, so I think I can offer a lot of advice.
I think for me, because I have a nephew, I consider him my nephew, and he struggled a lot with his sexuality when he was younger. He had, I like girls, whatever. He threw himself into church hard. He's still into church now, but at the time he threw himself into church as a blanket.
Yeah, for the wrong reason.
It was a shadow, and everybody knew, but nobody really said anything because nobody cared. We just loved him, and then he got a best friend, and they spent any free moment they had together they were together. And they were always with his friend. Well, obviously this friend was his boyfriend, but this is my best friend, this is just my best friend. And then I remember one day that I was living in Modesto at the time up north. I had my own apartment, and he was like, "Oh, Uncle Eddie, do you think you can take me and my friend to Pride, San Francisco Pride? Like we've always wanted to go, but no one would take us." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, like I'll take you guys." So they spent the night at my house. We got up early in the morning, we drove to San Francisco. It was a whole thing, and they were just like in awe, and for years he would, Uncle Eddie, he would talk to me about different things that he was confused about, or I met this guy and I don't know how to feel, or how do you think my grandma would feel? And then he ended up coming out to me. He came out to me and he was, but nobody else knows, and please don't tell anybody, but how do you think they're going to react? And and we would talk. That we this is what really brought us as close as we are, and now he lives in I think Seattle. I think he lives in Seattle. And he's living his little gay life, and has a partner now, and they have their own little apartment with some friends, and he's drinking and smoking and being an adult and working, and man, I love it. I love seeing him be so open and accepting of himself and outwardly
just to be able to live authentically, and he's living
his life
with no apologies.
Yeah, and I love it. And every so often I'll just send him a little text like, "Hey, I love you.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you. I'm thinking about you." I love watching his life through TikTok and Snapchats and everything. Or it's not TikTok, Instagram and Snapchat, and just seeing him be him. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything else, I'll start crying, but
yeah. I feel like after I'd come out, it kind of became a little bit of like an exploring period for me of like, how gay do I want to get? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do I want to try? What do I want to dress like? What do I want to do? What do I like? All of that stuff. And I think I found where I am now only because of that experience. I would have never known, if I liked this or if I like that. Do I want to try dressing up in drag? I don't know. Maybe. Do I want to wear heels? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't walk in heels.
I don't do any of that stuff.
Because you cannot walk in heels.
But it would only take...
I've seen.
You've never seen me walk in heels.
Exactly.
I'm at the gym on the treadmill.
In freaking 6-inch stiletto pumps.
But like, I needed that like that period of time, my issue is that I didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't have anyone to ask these questions to. I had people online, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that was the more difficult part for me, because I was like, I wasn't even at that point like looking for like a boyfriend or anything. I was just looking for like some kind of guidance, some kind of people
Just
to be
somebody
around.
you can talk to who was like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people that could relate to me.
Yeah.
And like how I wanted to be, and like how I could find my way through this. But then it took me a little while to get through all of that. But
Were you in a downlink person? Did you have downlink?
no, I don't even know what that is.
So downlink was at the time was basically like a gay MySpace,
Oh, okay.
and it was specifically made for gay youth to talk to people, meet people. It literally was like a MySpace, but for gay people. It was called downlink.
Sounds like exactly what I needed.
Yeah, and so I met a lot of people through there, and one of we are still friends to this day. And I met this man, either my junior year of high school, and that was a long time ago. I can see now, but yeah, and I met him, and it had started out kind of romantically, you know, but then we had met, and we went to this San Francisco every Valentine's Day for a couple of years. They held this giant pillow fight, and hundreds of people would come and just pillow fight in the middle of San Francisco. We went to that, and he just became one of my closest friends. And like I said, to this day, we're still friends. That's the one. Remember, I said he's engaged now. My friend just got engaged. That's him. His name's Michael.
Nice.
He just got engaged to his now fiance Brandon.
Nice.
You know, and it's we keep in contact every once in a while. We follow each other and we watch each other's lives, and it was great. It was great because it was a community that was not openly welcomed to us at the time that we were coming out, because it still wasn't as widely accepted as, still not 100%, but as accepted as it is today.
So I feel like it's probably something important to mention, because it is the anniversary today. We are filming this on June 12th, and it is the 7-year anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting.
Has it been 7 years already?
7 years, 2016.
Wow, that's wild. I remember the day it happened, and just the day everything was coming out about it. That's wild. It was so just all the pictures that they were showing, the names, the messages people were getting as it was happening of the victims.
The amount that we go out to like just gay bars and just go and hang out and have a drink, and we just do it so casually. To think that those people were just going out for the
casually
night and just hanging out, and then to think like that was it is wild to me. Like people just going to have fun, and that happens.
It almost leaves me speechless, like just thinking about it, and like I get goosebumps thinking about it as well, because like the people who were trapped in the bathroom, you know, and the one person was texting their mom, "I love you. I'm gonna die. I just want you to know I love you." Like, what a feeling! What a horrible, horrible feeling to have, and all because of the person you love. Because you love who you love, and people are just unfortunately not for that, you know. And I feel like it needs to be said that because of situations like this, because of, you know, the horrible events that take place, because of the hatred that people have towards people like us, our pride needs to be that much more.
Yeah.
We need to have that much more pride in who we are and what we are. We need to have that much more love in ourselves and for everybody else, and not just in the community, but our allies as well, and in the straight community. Like, we have to love everybody. We have to show them that as much as they hate, our love is going to be more than that.
Yeah. I have said it 8 times already, but representation matters. And I think just existing in your day-to-day life as a part of the community is already doing that work. You know what I mean? We don't have to wait for Pride Month to put out the Pride flags. We don't, like, I literally have one on the back of my car 24/7, and it has resulted in some not great experiences. But in the hopes that, like, one person driving behind me sees it and is like, oh, I like that.
Hi, gay.
It's enough for me. And, like, the reason I have, like, the little pins on me, and, like, I like having stuff like that because it shows that I can just exist in the world, and there is no apologies about it. And once again, it's not a Pride Month thing. It's not gonna, like, I'm not gonna just take off this pin on July 1st and then, like, cool, now we're done.
Yeah, I'm done being outwardly gay. Yeah,
This is our lives.
Right.
It is what it is, and
we are who we are.
Yeah, and not everyone will always understand what pride means.
No matter gay, straight, or bi.
Lesbian, transgender.
Good job. You're on the right track, baby. You were born this way. I feel like if you sing it, you'll get copyright.
Yeah.
But if you say it, you won't. I was just making sure you knew the verse.
I am a Lady Gaga stan.
Well, okay, but you had to sing it to remember the next line. So.
Well, you know.
But no, I agree. Like, and I feel like that's why people. It's hard to understand the anger. I guess it's easy to see it from somebody's outside point of view, but people get angry because LGBTQ people, gay people, we have a month of pride.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's to recognize who we are, that we are a people, and not to say that it's in any way the same, but it's along the same measures as Black History Month. They have this month so that people know that their struggles happened. These people lived these horrific events and they've overcome them, and they deserve to be remembered.
Yeah.
You know? And why do you need a whole month? Well, why not? You get every other day of your life.
Exactly.
To be who you are. You know, we're just trying to show you that we are people too.
Just say it. We're better than straight people.
You're not wrong. But I'm not going to say it.
I'm just saying. Have you met a straight person that looks this good in pink? No.
I do look good in pink, don't I?
You do. Anyways.
I'm just like, yeah, anyways.
Do you want to go out after this? I feel real good about myself.
You come back to next to my house and everything's pink. My car, I dye my dog
You're
pink.
living in Trisha Paytas' house.
Trisha.
Oh. If we mention her enough, eventually she'll come.
I hope so. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Trisha Paytas, Trisha Paytas, Trisha Paytas. It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
She's in a Beetlejuice costume.
She would wear that.
I feel like there hasn't been an episode where we have not mentioned Trisha Paytas.
I know.
At least one time. I'm a Trisha stan.
Same.
And she is a stan for us. She's part of the community.
You know what? Yes.
She is a stan.
Anyways, back to Pride.
I hope Malibu is a stan.
There's no way she's not going to be.
Her name's Malibu Barbie.
I know. That is a gay icon if I ever heard of
Love
one.
it.
Anyways, back to Pride and the sad things. The same night that the Pulse nightclub shooting happened, I was actually at Pride in WeHo.
Oh.
And yeah. So we decided on a whim. I just really wanted to go. And so my sister Amanda was like, okay, we can go. So it was just going to be us two. We were going to go, but then there was some kind of disagreement between her and her husband, so he ended up coming along with us because he wanted the car, but then, I don't know, it was the whole thing. So he ended up coming out with us.
Okay.
And so we went to like the festival part of it and like the concert part of it. Had a great time. It was amazing. I saw BB Rexa.
Oh.
I think I saw Todrick Hall. I know he's a little bit, I don't know, but at the time he was cool. It was a handful of other people, but then I came home very late after Pride, woke up the next morning to the news, and I remember my mom never fully like cried or anything about like my sexuality until that moment. We were talking about it. We were in the living room. It was me, her, I think like my brother and my sister, and we were talking about it 'cause it's on the news. And she had said, she was like, "Oh my God, I could just imagine if like something like that happened to you." And then she just started crying, and then I started crying, and then it was a whole thing.
Because I mean, and I can understand where she's coming from. When you think about it, there is never not going to be a time. I mean, I hope it's not never, but right now this is what it seems like. But there's never not going to be a time where life is not going to be hard for us.
Mm-hmm.
We will always have to go through life with hardships at our rear view.
Yeah.
We're never going to be fully accepted from people. We're never going to have a regular life as people. We're never going to be able to love as people love, to marry as people marry, to be out in the open as other people would be able to out in the open. And that's a sad fact. It's a sad fact. It's a sad truth. And it's a sad thing that we just have to accept as it is what it is, you know, and I can understand your mom feeling that way, and my mom and I have had many conversations like that, you know. It's just, it's something we don't choose.
Yeah.
You know, and my mom, I remember she had asked me like, "Oh, well, you know, why can't you just try being with a girl? You know, it'd be easier. Yeah, it probably would be easier, but I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm
It
not
wouldn't be
choosing.
authentic.
I'm not choosing to be this way. Why would I choose to be in a world where people hate me?
Exactly. That's what's
You know?
always confused me about people thinking that it's a choice. It's like, why would I choose to make my life harder?
Yeah.
If I could just go and be with a woman and be fine, cool, I would go and do that. But
why would I choose to have people look at me and think that I am less of a human?
Yeah.
Because I love another man.
Yeah.
It just I don't know.
I don't remember who said it, but it was some celebrity. They had compared it to like chairs. It was like you could sit there, but you just can't sit there. You still get a chair.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. I'll treat you like a person, kinda, but you just can't sit in the nicer chair. You know what I mean? It's like only the straight people can sit there, and that was where I think I realized like what being like a second class citizen was gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, you're still here and you got rights, but like don't ask for too many.
And that's basically what we are. We're second class.
Yeah.
Compared to straight people, especially straight people in power,
Yeah.
we are less than. We're
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel. And it sucks, but it's true. And again, it's only true if you let it be true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what was where was I at? Oh, at my college graduation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the student keynote speaker, she said, you know, it was always said life is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, life will take you wherever you need to go. And she's like, no, it's not. Life is where I take it. It's not, you know, I don't go where life tells me to go. Life goes where I tell it to go. You know, and you just gotta move your life into where you're happy, where you're comfortable, and surround yourself with people who just radiate positivity, radiate love, radiate acceptance. And if you find that, man, you struck El Dorado.
Amen.
Amen.
But on a lighter note, Pride realistically was a very fun experience for me. It was the first time that I was like ever in like a place, because I had only come out a few years prior, 2013, this was 2016, and like it was one of the very first places that I had been to that was like to genuinely see people just exist without fear. And just because I mean obviously yes you can be gay, but like just be careful out there, you know, don't be too gay. So to be able to be in a place that like just fully accepted people and everyone just, it was almost like a competition of who could be the most like extra. Yeah. It was like really cool to see.
And be in a place where it's just nothing but happy.
Mm-hmm. I remember I wore rhinestones on my face. It was fun. If I could find a picture, I'll put it. Was very cool. I did like rhinestones here and then here. I really liked it. And then I remember I stopped on the way there at like a Burger King, and I was just like, she was like, "Are you going to Pride?" I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Oh my God, I want to go, but I'm not off work until like midnight." I was 20.
Interesting.
20, 21 maybe.
Yeah.
Something like
and
that.
You were a giddy little schoolgirl.
I was so happy. I mean, it was a last minute
I
decision.
can see it in your face.
I'm telling
like
you.
The day of, I can see the rhinestones coming out of your eyebrows.
It was such a last minute decision to go, but it was like amazing. And then I remember like obviously after everything had happened in Florida, I remember then they were doing a candlelight vigil at Los Angeles City Hall, and like Lady Gaga was there, so she was like reading off the names, everything. I remember I was so close to her, probably from maybe 20 feet away from her. And we're standing there and we're watching her, and I'm just they introduced her at the last minute. Everyone's like, "Oh my God,
Lady Gaga!"
Yeah. So sorry you're here, but like also Lady Gaga. Like it was really cool to see, but it was very like solidarity.
Yeah.
And like you know what, like we still do have a long way to go.
That's really cool.
So it was cool to have the kind of dichotomy of the two.
One of the prides that I've gone to back in San Francisco, gay marriage had just got legalized for the first time. Before it got redacted.
Oh, like what, 2015? I think it was all.
It was just like, finally it's a legal thing, you know, and everyone's getting married. So
I remember I woke up that morning, I was like,
right, so that it could be a legal marriage, you know, and they did the first lesbian wedding, like the first gay marriage in San Francisco on that stage at Pride.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and it was the first one of the new law in San Francisco, passed. And they did it in front of everybody at Pride on stage.
Oh my God. Could you imagine being that couple?
It was really cool.
I hope they're still together.
It was a lesbian couple.
Nice. Good for them.
Yeah, they're lesbians, so whatever. But
I mean, I guess.
But no, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But how were your other Pride experiences?
It's an hour and 8 minutes already. Sorry, I got distracted by the time. I love Pride. I've gone to San Francisco Pride so many times where I can take it or leave it. It's never really changed, but it's always fun. It's always a fun time, and you see a bunch of people. You see a lot of people, a lot of crazy people, and how outlandish they can be. So that was always fun. I've gone to San Diego Pride, and that was a lot of fun. I went with some of my best friends, my best girlfriends. We went for my friend's bachelorette party in San Diego, and that was a lot of fun. I've gone to Oakland Pride up north, and that was just kind of That wasn't
in Oakland.
Not because it was Oakland, it just wasn't a very good Pride. It was just kind of low key. It just wasn't. I'm just so used to everything being so big.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's kind of boring.
Some people, some flags.
Yeah. It wasn't. It had
Stands.
nothing to do because it wasn't Oakland. Rude. But yeah, I know. I love Pride. I love seeing people just being able to express themselves, and like you said, just be in a community where they can express themselves.
Yeah.
And know that they're not going to be judged for it, hated for it, or singled out for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's an interesting area. I will say my very, very, very first Pride I ever gone to in San Francisco with my family. I don't know why that ended up happening with me, my mom, my grandma.
Love that. I love it so much.
One of my cousin's friends, she had went with us, and I remember seeing just dicks everywhere. And I was like, just
oh God, Grandma, I'm not looking.
Everywhere you walk, there's just a penis, And then they forced me literally to take a picture with these two topless women who smelled like cigarette and BO.
Oh no!
And they had on like some saggy cargo shorts. It was just free the titties out, and just like this.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Do you still have the picture?
They're probably somewhere. I have no idea where that picture is. Years ago. I think I was.
Got lost.
Honestly, that was probably 20 years ago.
Oh wow!
Literally 20 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was fun. We had a lot of fun, a lot of walking, a lot of dicks. A lot of dicks.
Sounds like a good weekend.
It was not. It was not. Dick scared me at the time.
got me nervous.
I got jump scare.
Speaking of like being able to like be authentic, I remember I took two of my friends to their very first gay bar. One is a lesbian, the other one's just straight, living her life. And I remember after we left, the one who's a lesbian was like, it was so nice to just be in a space that I didn't have to feel like I was watching my back. And like just to be able to see people acting authentically. She was like, I was able just to chill and like have a drink. And like, if I seen somebody that I thought was attractive, I could just go up to them if I wanted to. And like, I didn't have to worry about it. She was
to
like,
have that
so
kind
cool
of confidence. Good
I
for her.
Could never.
Good for her.
Could never.
But no, and I think as a people, as a whole, as a world, as a united nation, we need to really work toward loving each other, accepting each other, supporting each other, lifting each other up, and just overall just being there for one another. Because the world is already filled with so much hate. We don't have to keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much hate everywhere you go. Why does this have to be part of it?
Yeah.
Love is love, man.
And I think like, so if we're gonna call the episode, because we're pretty far into this, I think an important thing to leave off on is the fact that the LGBTQI plus community is full of so much light, and I love how people are able to spread positivity in the face of so much hate. We can just sit here and we could joke around about the fact that like these laws are getting passed, but also at the same time do the hard work and fight the fight so that way more laws like this don't get passed.
Be friendly, but don't be passive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like you occupy the space for your identity,
right,
and don't take no for an answer.
Yep. Amen.
You have to live authentically for yourself and just don't apologize.
And remember, Love is love.
Yeah.
Violence is not the answer until it is.
Until it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes it is. Anyways.
Let's pop these balloons.
Anyways, we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. If you guys made it to the end of this episode, we already know what the 2 emojis are going to be.
Are we doing that every episode?
I just want to see, because this episode's pretty long. We only did it in a couple episodes. But
Swastikas.
no.
Oh.
Is there a swastika emoji?
If there is, Apple's going to have a big lawsuit.
Oh. No, leave 2 pride flags. Little 2 pride flags.
Or rainbows. They don't have pride flag emojis.
Yes, they do.
They just have rainbows.
They use pride flag emojis.
I don't have my phone.
They have pride flag emojis.
Leave 2 rainbows if they don't.
They 100% do. I use them all the time. Anyways, hi, I'm gay. Anyways, so we're going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining us during Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, demons!
And if you want to follow us on all of our social media, the handle is...
You can follow us on all social medias at our handle, at straighten_up_pod, bitch.
You got it now.
Thank
Good
you.
for you. That's 2 episodes in a row. It's because it's Pride Month. That's why. You're in your full power. The second July 1st hits, you can go back to stuttering.
I have a speech impediment.
Anyways. All right. We will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye!
I sat there and I smiled. Waiting.